Hello, in this video, I want to explain why I think Trump won the election. Now, I have already seen many videos about this topic, so my video is not going to be completely original, but I think that at least to an extent, it will be original. So, although I even personally benefited from Trump victory, because I invested in Bitcoin and Bitcoin went up, I'm still not too happy about the fact that Trump won, primarily because of two reasons. I fear democracy in the United States further deteriorating, democratic norms further deteriorating, and I'm also not really sure what Trump's foreign policy will be, which is kind of scary. The most powerful military in the world no longer can we predict what that military is going to do, for example, about the Ukraine issue and about some other issues. So, but when it comes to why Trump won, well, okay, first of all, let's start with the obvious. The economy was bad. Like, although the Democrats have been able to bring inflation down, people still remember that for 3 years inflation was up, and people are just not having good lives, like from an economic perspective in the United States for a while now. The American dream is dead, as many people said before me. So people know that they are not living the life that their parents were able to live. So this idea that one man has enough money to sustain an entire family and to buy a house today seems unreachable for many in Europe and also in the United States. And why I think that many people in Eastern Europe and in Russia, for example, are nostalgic about communism is because, well, in some aspects, some professions were better paid. For example, railroad workers had just a higher standard of living under communism than under capitalism. But also, I believe that people, for example, in the Brezhnev era, in the Soviet Union, okay, I'm not saying that everything was perfect, but people still had a very clear sense that things are getting better. They knew that they had a better life than their parents that lived under Stalin and uh, under like World War II. So they knew that they have better lives. While today people knew that in many aspects they have worse lives, and that is causing people to be unhappy, angry, and Trump is pretty much the only candidate that promised revolutionary change. Although obviously from a material perspective, in some aspects at least, today we have more than our parents used to have, like back in the 80s or 70s or 60s. But when you look at like rent prices and apartment prices and stability of family, yeah, we have less actually in many aspects. But that brings me to my point that Trump is the only candidate in the United States, at least, promising big change, while Kamala Harris was only promising to continue um, with Biden policies. Now, Trump was actually never very precise about how is he going to make America great again, but yeah, people care about the sentiment, about the vibes, about the broader message. And okay, here comes the part of my take that's maybe a bit unusual, so you can call me crazy in the comment section, but I actually believe that Biden was more charismatic than Kamala Harris. Now, let me explain. So, Biden, before his brain completely shut down, like Biden 4 years ago, when he was still able to make sentences, back then, yes, I actually think he was more charismatic because he kind of seemed more spontaneous, less professional. He seemed to be just reacting in the moment, kind of, when he was asked a serious question by the reporters, which by the way, is the part of the Trump appeal as well. So I remember that Biden's popularity actually went up when he was asked to explain the Hunter Biden laptop, and when he was asked to explain that, like when he was pressured into talking about the fact that his son was a crack addict, Biden just responded by saying, "Well, I still love him." And yeah, that's when his popularity actually went up. Okay, other than that, well, the obvious reason for why Biden somehow managed to win the election was that COVID happened under Trump. And then the lockdowns happened, and the economy, well, not only stagnated, but was kind of completely destroyed. And people were also pretty mad about no longer being able to go to work. And some people got fired. So yeah, people just generally tend to blame those in power for the state of the economy, which is why I think that Kamala lost, and which is why I think that Trump actually also lost like 4 years ago. Yeah, I think that this election definitely proves that the Democrats don't have the power to control the election results. Now, also, I do think that the fact that Trump survived 2 assassination attempts definitely helped him, and also the fact that a large percent of the establishment hates him also is helping Trump. And I've seen from the YouTube comment section that many people kind of naively assume if there are some bad people hating you, that means that you are good. And also some people assume that because Trump survived assassination attempts, that somehow also proves that he is good, that he is fighting for something good. But Hitler survived 42 assassination attempts, and that doesn't make him good. So yeah, that's a pretty good counter argument. But the irony is also that Biden, while he wasn't super progressive, and he definitely could have done a lot more to help the average American, he at least made it easier to unionize, and he increased the minimum wage and stuff like that. While Trump, on the other hand, generally speaking, when it comes to the economy, actually isn't a populist. The only position that I would say is truly a populist one is having a stricter border. So most people, in my experience, just most normal everyday people, they want a strict border, for many reasons. Some people are afraid that wages will become lower with more people coming into the country. Others just believe that some cultures shouldn't mix with their domestic culture. But yeah, in my experience, it is a truly populist thing to be stricter on the border. So that's just a fact of reality. Now, I also don't think that the Democrats were crazy leftist radicals that were against border security, but yeah, Trump definitely was in favor of a strict border, and that is a popular position. But okay, now let me explain why I'm not too happy about Trump winning. So, on the one hand, Trump seems to be pro-Russian, let's say, in some of his takes. So he seems to just believe that the United States should abandon Ukraine. But on the other hand, if you look at his actual policy and not just rhetoric, he actually armed Ukraine, and he expanded NATO. So I'm not sure now, will Trump do what he says he will do, or will he do what he did in the past? That's why, like, I genuinely believe that Trump's foreign policy in many aspects is mysterious, and that's not pleasant for American allies currently in Europe. But yeah, other than that, well, one aspect in which his foreign policy isn't mysterious is the fact that he is pro-Israel. His administration recognized the Golan Heights. or I should say, they recognized Israel annexing the Golan Heights. And yeah, that wasn't good, in my opinion. It wasn't good because they went against international law. They recognized annexation of territory as something illegal, and therefore they not only angered the Arab world, which may be one of the contributing factors that led to the Israel-Palestine war that is happening right now, but also they made it harder for the United States to condemn Chinese expansionism in the South China Sea and Russian expansionism. And both of those expansionist projects happen to be illegal under international law and just bad for their neighbors. But okay, yeah. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.